Should I break up with my boyfriend because he said happy birthday late? Hi everyone. I know the title sounds immature, but please hear me out. I have a lot on my chest right now and I really need input. I, 19F, and my boyfriend, 18M, have been together for almost a year and a half. My birthday's today as I'm writing this. My boyfriend had work Jan 29 and he got home and texted me saying he's home. That's it, nothing else. No happy birthday or anything. To say that I was a bit disappointed would be an understatement. I understand that he got home late. I'm not upset about that. I'm upset because he calls me a few minutes later and he's already gaming. I'm upset that he thinks that his video games are more important than me. He calls me and says happy birthday and I was visibly upset and he asked me what's wrong and I told him how he prioritized his games more over me. He proceeds to get upset with him and start like sighing and brushing off my comments. He said that he just hopped on and wanted to relax. And he also admitted that he forgot about my birthday. He can't understand why I'm upset and thinks I'm overreacting and being too sensitive. I'm thinking of breaking up with him. The whole duration of our relationship was me fighting for him to stop playing his games so that he can give me time. I want a fresh start but I'm feeling a lot of emotions right now. This birthday sucks. Should I break up with him? Too long didn't read. Boyfriend prioritizes his videos games over me and said happy birthday late. Edit, I should have included more detail so here it is. He didn't get me anything for Christmas 2019 or Valentine's Day 2020. I told him he doesn't need to spend money. All I wanted was a handwritten letter. I never got it. I have to constantly ask for his attention every single day because he's too busy playing games. Break up with the dude. The bar is in hell and he still can't clear it. Don't be with someone that can't be bothered to spend time with you. And happy birthday. To be honest, I don't think forgetting your birthday is the biggest issue here. I think his reaction to you being upset is more of a reason to break up with him. He proceeds to get upset with him and start like sighing and brushing off my comments. He said that he just hopped on and wanted to relax. And he also admitted that he forgot about my birthday. He can't understand why I'm upset and thinks I'm overreacting and being too sensitive. Forgetting a birthday is pretty bad. Any normal person that respects you would have immediately apologized in this situation. Instead, he doubled down on his mistake and tried to turn it around on you. A true partner is accountable and owns up to their mistakes. That is not this guy. First off, happy birthday. Today is your day, so hopefully we can make up for it being shitty by talking about this more in depth. You need to ask yourself these things. Do you forget his birthday? Are you happy? Do you think you want to be in this relationship long term? Do you deserve this treatment? Are you being true to your feelings? Are you being honest to him and yourself about how you feel about this relationship? If the answer is no, you need to do yourself a favor and honor yourself by loving yourself enough to leave. He forgot. Let's face it, the least he could do is say that. He seems forgetful and immature. You deserve someone who knows how to love you right and care for you in a way that actually shows. You should be with someone who is grateful. It seems as though your boyfriend is taking you for granted. If you allow this behavior to persist, he won't think anything is wrong and it's an invitation to continue. Let him know you're hurt. Let him know it's your birthday. Let him know what you want. If he can't give you that or finds you're asking too much, there are other people who will provide the love and care you deserve. After all, you're the birthday girl. Prediction: when you've broken up with this person and found someone else that values you properly, you'll think back to this even being a question for you and wonder why it took so long. Someone who wants to be with you will make that clear. Don't settle for anything less. Firstly, happy birthday to you. As an avid gamer myself, I try to create balance between my hobbies, job and relationship. If your BF doesn't prioritize you over gaming and stuffs, then it's better to dump his ass. No matter how busy or forgetful you are, you should at least try to make up for your mistake. In your case, he's just ignorant. My boyfriend asks me at times whether or not if I love him and only him. How should I feel about this? Is that what he feels about me? We've been together over almost 2 years. He sometimes asks me if I just love him and only him. Why would I want to build a life with him if I don't? I guess I'll just take those plans back if I don't lol. But someone online just told me that he's projecting a thought whether if he loves me and only me. Now that's worrying me a lot. At first I thought maybe he's insecure, but now hearing this is making me question a lot. What do you guys think? Too long didn't read. BF asks if I love him and only him at times. Is it an insecurity of his or it's actually his thought about me? Some people need words of affirmation. Asking if you love only him seems a little weird too. That's the part I'm thrown off by. I just don't know what to make of it. I ask my boyfriend this all the time. Not the only me part, but if he is sure I'm insecure and he doesn't say I love you a lot, so sometimes I just ask. He says I really do and then I go about my day. In my case it doesn't have any creepy red flag type material, I just need to ask sometimes. He maybe gets a feeling you're hung up on an ex or something. It's okay if you need reassurance sometimes. I think it's great that he just asks occasionally instead of getting all weird or angry. Loving yourself is the precursor to being capable of accepting another one's love. When a man is constantly asking you this question, it strongly suggests the one doing the asking does not feel worthy of love and therefore does not love themselves all that much. He can actually believe you are too good for him. I think his love language is words of affirmation. I'm like this and I constantly need to be given reassurance. I think he's really insecure. I want to have a relationship with my mother but we have zero in common. I'm 30, my mother is 73. It might be the generational gap. I'm not sure, but we literally have nothing in common. She's extremely religious and I'm not. She's a conservative Trump supporter and I'm not. She's interested in various unsubstantiated online conspiracy theories and I'm not. Basically the only thing we can talk about is the weather or my 3-year-old son. Besides that, anything that I'm interested in like science, technology, electronics, politics, sports etc. are basically off the table because she's either not interested or has absurd viewpoints that drive me crazy. In my view, there's also a problem where she can't stop being my mother, in the sense that we can't just be adult friends that have mutual respect for one another. She denies it, but I feel like she's always trying to teach me some lesson or influence my thinking. Too long didn't read. How can I cultivate a relationship with my mother who I have nothing in common with? Gossip, movie stars, people you know tangentially, other people's life decisions, behavior. So-and-so's Facebook post about their new boyfriend, so-and-so's new house, so-and-so's job change. Judgment of others' behavior knows no politics. Food, what to eat, what not to eat, where to eat, how to eat it, how to make it in a healthy way, cooking shows, celebrity chefs, sales at the supermarket, her past. Get her to tell you the tales of her life story from her own point of view, her growing up, dating life, when you were young, the decisions she made or didn't make and why. What had the biggest impact on her? People love talking about themselves and it might help you understand her better. The less you talk about yourself, the less confronted she will be by how different you are. The truth is, you may find her views astounding, but people like her find people like you intimidating because, basically, people like her are ignorant and it is so damn easy to prove. Sometimes though, they say something so colossally stupid it is really hard not to say something back. That's when you hang up the phone and leave the room and recite the Serenity Prayer. I can really empathize with this. I have conservative religious parents while I'm a lesbian and a leftist. It definitely is hard to bridge the gap there, especially when it highlights differing values between you. I think everyone here has pointed out some good topics to try to talk about. I would also just remember that you're allowed to set boundaries on what you're comfortable and not comfortable with. For example, I let my mom know that it causes tension when she brings up conservative politics or we try to talk about current events too much, and that I want to have good conversations with her, so it would be best if we could avoid that topic. It took a little bit of reminding and actually stopping some conversations, but now she talks about it way less, which makes it easier to actually see more eye to eye or talk about other things. Boundaries like that can help too, because we can stay more kind to each other instead of fighting, and the more you talk about things other than the stuff you disagree on, the more room there will be for other ideas or topics to come naturally. I would just be direct about how you're feeling and how you want to see your conversations play out. Also, it's helpful to keep in mind that some relationships just don't have the capacity to be as close at a given time. The political climate is intense right now and so visible in all we do every day, so it may just be a time where the relationship isn't as close. Like, my mom and I can basically just talk about dogs, TV shows, and baking for now, and that's okay. My suggestion would be to find a hobby that the two of you can do together, something like crocheting, or those diamond paintings. Something easy enough for a beginner to pick up, and that you could do together. If you can find some common ground in a hobby, that would be a productive start to finding some common ground. Perhaps you can find a podcast or documentary about whatever hobby it is, for tips and tricks to help you along the way. I like the other comment about finding common ground in entertainment and comedy. I also wonder if there is any way you can start more conversations about her own personal life and past experiences growing up, without her veering into political/ideological territory or even into the interests of hers that you don't share. Especially if she's getting wrapped up in online conspiracy theories at that age, there is a possibility she doesn't have enough outlets or people to talk to about her own life and past experiences, which should actually be separate from, more than her beliefs and interests. I've noticed that some older people generally like to share stories about events in their younger years, so maybe that could be another angle you explore in your conversations. For example, something like, what were X like back when you were growing up? What were you doing in your 20s? Wow, any funny stories from that experience? There's a chance that she may use those stories to try to teach you a lesson again based on what you've described. But maybe if you ask more leading questions like the above, where you are subtly controlling the conversation to be focused on her and a curiosity about her experiences a little more, she will naturally adjust the way she frames her responses. The answer is comedy. Find a common ground in movies, TV shows, or stand-up comedians that you both like. You may have to reach backwards in time to find the common ground here. Stuff from the 1980s or 1990s will likely bridge the gap.